Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, pour the Sauvignon Blanc, the big glass, because I am absolutely shaking right now. You are not going to believe what is happening with my channel. Sit down, mute your phone, and listen to me because I am about to spill the hottest, most infuriating tea, and honestly, I think I need a lawyer. No, seriously, I think a crime has actually been committed against my art. You know how hard I have been working on my brand, right? You've seen the hours I put into the flow arts, the choreography, the lighting. My channel isn't just some random girl in a hot tub. It is performance art. I am in the IRL category in real life because I am out there at venues, dancing, spinning, creating a visual masterpiece. My community expects a certain level of quality. They expect the visual of the flow to match the beat of the music. It's a sensory experience. So let me set the scene for you. I'm in California, right? Land of the free, home of the brave, and the epicenter of entertainment law. I did this broadcast recently from a physical venue. It wasn't just a playlist running off Spotify. I had a live musician performing. A real human being creating music right there in the room. This is important, so pay attention. The vibe was immaculate. I'm spinning, the lights are trailing, the music is thumping, it was magic. And we did everything by the book. Literally by the book. I know how strict these platforms are with copyright, so I didn't mess around. The broadcast equipment. I had it plugged directly into the master output of the Pioneer mixer. The DJ, let's call him the musician because he was performing live, he was plugged into the secondary record output. Before we even went live, I looked this man in the eye. I asked him point blank, can I archive this? Can I rebroadcast this audio on my channel? And he said yes. He gave me explicit, verbal permission. He wanted the exposure. He wanted his music heard by my audience. He specifically asked to archive the content. The man was broadcasting on the platform too, but get this, his terms of service don't even let him post the VODs after the stream. He doesn't even have the button for it in his dashboard. So me hosting the VOD was the only way this magical set was going to live on. So the stream ends. I'm high on the adrenaline of a good performance. I go to sleep thinking, okay, tomorrow my community is going to have this amazing 60-day public asset to rewatch. You know how it works. The VOD stays up for 60 days. It's a public asset. It's my portfolio. I wake up, grab my coffee, and go to check the replay. Girl, silence, dead, air. I'm staring at the video. The video is perfect. I'm looking great, the flow is on point, the resolution is crisp. But there is absolutely zero sound. Now stop, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, you got demacawed. You got a copyright strike. That is exactly what I thought for a split second. But you know the platform. You know how this works. When you get hit with a DMCA claim, the timeline on the video has these ugly red blocks, right? It highlights the specific section that infringed on copyright, and it mutes just that part. It's like the walk of shame for streamers. It says, oops, you played Taylor Swift, now sit in the corner. But honey, there was no red. There was no highlight. There was no notification saying, hey, we muted this because of Warner Brothers. The audio was just gone, stripped, excavated like a crime scene. They essentially took a bit-for-bit copy of the broadcast audio and deleted it from the file. It's not muted in the legal sense of compliance. It is missing. It's like they went into the back end of my account and edited my intellectual property without my permission. Can you imagine watching a Flow Arts video in silence? It looks ridiculous. It looks like I'm just flailing around in the dark. It is brand damaging. My audience expects to hear the music that I am moving to. The rhythm is half the content. Without the audio, the video asset is worthless. It makes me look unprofessional, it makes the production value look like trash, and it completely disrespects the artist who played the music and gave me permission to use it. So I start digging. You know I get obsessive. I put on my detective hat. Why would they do this? Why wipe the audio entirely instead of just red barring it? Here is the tea, and it tastes like corporate greed. It's the DJ program. The platform recently rolled out this new DJ program with its own terms of service. It's for people who just stand there and spin tracks. But I am not a DJ. I have never signed up for the DJ program. I have never agreed to those terms. I am an IRL streamer. My content is the visual performance. But I suspect, and honestly, I'm 99% sure, that the platform's algorithm saw a mixer, heard music, and decided to enforce the DJ terms on me even though I'm not in the program. Why? Because of accounting. It's always about money, isn't it? I suspect that what happened to my broadcast assets audio occurred simply because the platform's accounting department is too lazy or too cheap to do the proper bookkeeping. They don't want to figure out how to pay the royalties appropriately to all the parties involved. If they admit the audio exists, they might have to pay a mechanical royalty or a performance royalty. So what do? They just nuke it. They scrub the audio entirely so they don't have to deal with the paperwork. They are elbow deep in the cookie jar of violation, thinking nobody will notice because it's just some streamer. But this is an edge case, and they messed with the wrong one. If the audio was muted and highlighted red, they could argue, "Oh, we're just complying with the DMCA safe harbor provisions." They could hide behind the law. But this is not compliance. This is modification of my IP. Is it illegal? That's what I need to know. Is it illegal to go into someone's broadcast asset, which is legally my creative property, and edit it in such a drastic way against my wishes? They stripped it entirely without my consent, without informing me, and without any legal standing to do so since I wasn't violating DMCA. The musician gave permission. The venue has the audio on their own servers legally. We did everything right. I feel like I'm being gaslit by a tech giant. They have these incredibly deep pockets, and they are bullying a user account that isn't even in their stupid DJ program. I complied with the non-DJ terms of service perfectly. The focus was on the flow arts. The music was ambient, live, and authorized. But here's the kicker. What if they're doing this to others too? It's so shady. It feels like they are looking at my content and saying, "We don't want to calculate the 0.004 cents we might owe a performance rights organization, so we're just going to ruin this girl's video." I am currently staring at a silent video of the best performance I've done in months. It's heartbreaking. It's like watching a movie with the dialogue turned off. You lose the soul of it. I need a professional to look at this. I need someone to tell me if this violates IP law. Because to my limited understanding, you can't just take someone's creation, chop off half of it because your accounting software is lazy, and then repost it publicly under my name looking like garbage. This asset is supposed to be public for the next 60 days. That's 60 days of potential new followers, potential sponsors, potential brand deals, all looking at a silent video thinking, I don't know how to run a soundboard. Humiliating. And the worst part, there's no one to call. You can't just call the platform. You have to submit a ticket into the void and hope some bot responds in 3 weeks. But I don't have 3 weeks. The momentum is now. I'm telling you, this is a violation. They modified my property. They damaged my brand. And they did it to save a few pennies on bookkeeping. I am absolutely livid. Do you know any IP lawyers in California? Like aggressive ones? Because I am not letting this slide. I'm not going to let them mute me. Literally and figuratively. Pass the bottle. I'm going to need the whole thing.